NATO missiles launch in darkness. Iranian warship fleet destroyed before sunrise. Wednesday, 1:17 a.m. Gulf of Oman. Pitch black. No moon. Sea state 3. 4 Iranian frigates steaming in formation toward the Strait of Hormuz. Alvan class, Mach class. Combined displacement 7,800 tons. Armed with C-802 anti-ship missiles and torpedo launchers. Escorting 3 tankers carrying sanctioned oil to Chinese buyers. Iranian commanders were confident. Night provided cover. The formation was tight. Air defense was active. What they didn't know was that NATO had been tracking this convoy for 6 days, and 90 miles away, HMS Queen Elizabeth's F-35B jets were already airborne, loaded, ready. The intelligence package was comprehensive. American satellites mapped every vessel. British signals intercept tracked Iranian communications. French reconnaissance confirmed formation positions every 20 minutes. The targeting data fed directly into HMS Queen Elizabeth's combat systems, into FGS Sachsen's fire control computers, into USS Monterey's Aegis network, 3 NATO warships operating as single integrated strike platform. The plan was simultaneous attack from 3 vectors. No warning, no radio transmission, no chance for Iranian forces to respond before the first weapons hit. Time of attack, 1:17 a.m., when Iranian crews were at minimum readiness, when reaction time would be slowest, when darkness was deepest. HMS Queen Elizabeth launched 4 F-35B Lightning IIs at 1:09 a.m. Call signs Dagger 1 through Dagger 4, each carrying 2 Spear 3 cruise missiles and 2 Pavway Wifru guided bombs. The jets flew at 200 feet above the water, radar off, using passive sensors only. The F-35's stealth profile made radar detection nearly impossible. Iranian air defense systems swept the area continuously but found nothing. The jets were invisible, undetectable, closing at 550 knots toward Iranian formation 90 miles away. They had 17 minutes before weapons release, 17 minutes while Iranian sailors slept, while watch officers drank tea, while the fleet sailed on in complete ignorance of what was coming. FGS Sachsen fired 8 RBS-15 anti-ship missiles at 1:14 a.m., German frigate, hidden 120 miles northeast. The missiles launched from below the radar horizon, rose briefly, then dropped to sea-skimming altitude, 15 feet above the waves, active radar homing, each carrying 200-kilogram warhead. Flight time to target, 11 minutes. The missiles spread out as they flew, approached from different angles, designed to saturate Iranian point defense by forcing it to engage multiple simultaneous threats from multiple directions. German engineering applied to Iranian warships that had no idea they were about to die. What's your tactical call in this scenario? Type A for simultaneous multi-weapon strike from all platforms. Type C for sequential strikes to assess damage between waves. Comment your decision below. USS Monterey fired 6 SM-6 missiles in surface attack mode at 1:15 a.m., American Ticonderoga-class cruiser. 180 miles east, the SM-6 missiles climbed to altitude, used their active radar seeker to acquire targets from above, dove at Mach 3.5 in terminal phase, coming almost vertically. The most difficult possible engagement for Iranian point defense systems optimized for sea-skimming threats. Monterey's targeting officer had allocated 2 SM-6s per highest value Iranian frigate, the Mudj-class Jamaran, the Alvan-class Alborz, the ships most capable of threatening Allied vessels. Eliminate them first. Reduce Iranian offensive capability before dealing with smaller vessels. Subscribe now for the complete tactical breakdown of this NATO night strike operation. This analysis reveals coordination and capabilities you won't find covered anywhere else. The F-35Bs released their Spear 3 missiles at 1:17 a.m. precisely. 16 missiles total, each weighing 100 kilograms, turbojet-powered, range of 140 kilometers. The Spear 3 is network-enabled, can be redirected in flight, can loiter waiting for optimal attack angle. Dagger flight allocated 4 missiles each to the 4 Iranian frigates. The remaining missiles targeted radar arrays and communications masts on each vessel, blinding them before hull strikes arrived. The F-35s banked away immediately after release, were 60 miles from the formation before their missiles hit, safe, invisible, already heading back to HMS Queen Elizabeth. All weapons converged on the Iranian formation between 1:25 and 1:27 a.m. 2 minutes of concentrated destruction. The Jamaran detected incoming SM-6 missiles at 1:24 a.m. 45 seconds warning, her combat systems engaged, launched 4-point defense missiles, shot down one SM-6, the other two hit within 3 seconds of each other. First struck the forward missile battery, 200-kilogram warhead detonated inside the launch system, secondary explosions from stored C-802 missiles. The entire bow disappeared in fireball. Second SM-6 hit the bridge structure, killed captain and 7 officers. Jamaran lost all command capability in 17 seconds. She was burning and sinking before her crew could transmit distress call. All Boers died faster. German RBS-15 missiles arrived first. 3 hit simultaneously, port side, amidships, stern. The explosions were catastrophic. Secondary detonations from ammunition magazines. The 400-ton frigate capsized in 4 minutes. Her crew had no time to launch lifeboats. Of 145 sailors aboard, only 23 survived, pulled from the water hours later by Iranian search vessels. The Spear 3 missiles that were supposed to target all Boers found her already sinking. Redirected autonomously to remaining Iranian vessels. The network-enabled weapons adapted in real time, hit new targets without human input. American and British systems working together seamlessly. Iranian frigate Sabalan attempted to flee north at flank speed, 30 knots, zigzagging, launching chaff, activating all electronic countermeasures. She'd survived previous battles. Her crew was experienced. But Spear 3 missiles are difficult to lose. They can maneuver, can wait, can approach from unpredictable angles. 3 Spear 3s chased Sabalan for 4 minutes. 1 was decoyed by chaff, 2 were not. Hit the stern section, destroyed propulsion. Sabalan went dead in the water, burning but afloat. She would survive, but was completely mission-killed, out of the fight, helpless in open water. The 4th Iranian frigate Naqdi launched C-802 missiles at 1:26 a.m., managed to get 6 weapons away before Spear 3 struck her hull. The C-802s targeted USS Monterey, flew toward the American cruiser at Mach 0.9. Sea skimming, active radar homing, Monterey's Aegis system detected them immediately. Fired SM-2 interceptors, destroyed 4 missiles at 14 miles. Failing CIWS engaged remaining 2 at close range, destroyed both. Monterey took no damage, but the engagement validated American defensive superiority. Iranian best weapons couldn't penetrate American best defenses. Don't miss the strategic aftermath and regional implications. Subscribe and hit that bell icon to follow every development in this escalating conflict. Iranian tankers escaped during the engagement. Their escorts were gone, burning, sinking. The tankers fled east at maximum speed, but American P-8 Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft tracked them, transmitted positions to Allied surface ships. HMS Dragon intercepted the lead tanker at 3:40 a.m., boarded her with Royal Marines, found 2.1 million barrels of sanctioned crude. Cargo seized, crew detained for questioning. The entire mission Iran planned, escort valuable cargo to Chinese buyers, had failed completely. Lost 4 frigates, lost cargo worth $180 million, accomplished nothing. NATO coordination throughout was exceptional. 3 warships from 3 nations, aircraft from British carrier, all synchronized to same timeline, all using shared targeting data, all operating under unified command authority. The integration didn't happen by accident, was product of years of joint exercises, standardized communications protocols, interoperable weapon systems. When execution order came, no confusion, no delays, no coordination failures. Each platform knew its role, executed precisely. The alliance functioned as single weapon system distributed across 200 miles of ocean. Iranian response came at dawn. Revolutionary Guard commander issued statement calling the strikes unprovoked aggression, promised devastating retaliation, deployed additional fast attack boats from Bandar Abbas. But retaliation never materialized. The fast attack boats encountered combined NATO surface force that had moved forward overnight. HMS Queen Elizabeth, FGS Sachsen, USS Monterey, plus 4 additional destroyers that had repositioned during the night. Iranian commanders looked at their radar screens, counted NATO warships, calculated odds, ordered boats back to port. The retaliation was abandoned before it started. What should Iran's next strategic move be? Was this NATO response proportional? Share your analysis in the comments. Regional powers absorbed the lesson immediately. UAE quietly requested additional American military cooperation. Saudi Arabia enhanced intelligence sharing. Oman maintained studied neutrality, but increased communication with NATO maritime headquarters. The Gulf states understood what happened. Iranian naval power had been surgically reduced. NATO demonstrated capability and willingness to strike at night, without warning, with precision that left no effective defense. The strategic landscape shifted. Iranian ability to threaten Gulf shipping was crippled, would remain crippled while reconstruction took years. Iranian naval losses were severe. Jamaran sunk, Al-Borz sunk, Sablan crippled, Nagdi heavily damaged. Combined loss? 4 frigates representing 40% of Iranian Navy's surface combat power. Replacement cost exceeded $800 million. Iranian shipbuilding couldn't replace quickly. Sanctions limited access to components. The timeline for reconstruction, minimum 4 years. During those 4 years, Iranian Navy would be diminished, vulnerable, unable to contest Allied maritime operations in the Gulf. American and British casualty count, 0. No Allied personnel killed, no Allied vessels damaged. The asymmetry was stark. Iran lost 4 warships and hundreds of sailors. NATO lost nothing. The exchange demonstrated qualitative superiority so overwhelming that direct confrontation was suicidal for Iranian forces. Every Iranian commander understood the mathematics. Fighting NATO at sea meant losing, meant dying, meant accomplishing none of your objectives while losing irreplaceable assets. This kind of detailed night strike analysis requires extensive military expertise. Support this channel with a like if this breakdown delivered real tactical insight. Strategically, the operation achieved multiple objectives. Iranian naval offensive capability in the Gulf of Oman was eliminated. The sanctioned oil shipment was intercepted. The message to Iran was delivered with maximum clarity. The demonstration effect reassured Gulf allies, and NATO cohesion was strengthened through successful joint combat operation. 4 objectives, 0 casualties. 1 night. That's what modern precision strike capability delivers when intelligence is good. Planning is thorough, execution is professional. Iranian propaganda tried spinning the outcome, called it temporary setback, promised technological response. But Iranian public saw the truth online before censors could react. 4 frigates destroyed, hundreds of sailors dead or missing, cargo seized, Iranian Navy reduced to coastal defense role. The propaganda couldn't survive contact with satellite imagery showing burning hulks, with families receiving notifications, with sailors who survived describing complete surprise. The domestic political fallout was significant. Hardliners who pushed for aggressive posture faced criticism. The human cost made the strategic miscalculation undeniable. HMS Queen Elizabeth's F-35B pilots returned to the carrier at 2:47 a.m., landed on dark flight deck. Aircraft were refueled and rearmed within 40 minutes, ready for follow-on strikes if ordered. The pilots had engaged and destroyed enemy vessels from complete stealth, never painted by Iranian radar, never heard on Iranian communications, invisible until their missiles hit. That capability represented future of naval aviation, stealth strike, network-enabled weapons, precision beyond previous generations, the F-35B proving itself in actual combat, validating the investment, validating the doctrine. Intelligence preparation made the operation possible. 6 days of surveillance before execution. American NRO satellites provided overhead imagery every 90 minutes. British GCHQ intercepted Iranian naval communications, revealed patrol schedules, identified command relationships, confirmed cargo manifests on the tankers. French DGSE provided human intelligence from Iranian port workers. The fusion of 5 intelligence streams created pictures so complete that NATO planners knew the convoy better than Iranian commanders knew it themselves. That intelligence advantage translated directly to tactical surprise. When weapons hit at 1:25 a.m., Iranian sailors had zero warning, zero preparation, zero chance to mount effective defense. Intelligence won the battle before missiles were fired. Submarine operations supported the strike without firing weapons. USS Texas positioned northeast of the Iranian formation, monitoring communications, jamming specific frequencies at critical moments, preventing Iranian ships from coordinating defensive measures during the attack window. The submarine's electronic warfare contribution was invisible to observers, wasn't visible in post-strike analysis, but was crucial. When Jamaran's combat officer tried to radio sister ships warning of incoming SM-6s, his transmission was jammed. The warning never arrived. Each Iranian vessel fought alone, isolated, defeated individually. The submarine that fired no weapons may have contributed most to the outcome. The technological integration between NATO weapon systems proved decisive. American SM-6 missiles provided long-range precision strike from beyond Iranian defensive range. British Spear 3 missiles provided network-enabled adaptability. German RBS-15 provided saturation attack capability. Each system contributed different capability. Together, they created problem Iranian defenses couldn't solve. Counter the SM-6s coming from altitude and miss the sea-skimming RBS-15s. Focus on sea skimmers and get hit by vertical diving SM-6s. The multi-axis simultaneous attack from 3 weapon types representing 3 nations made effective defense mathematically impossible. Iran had anti-aircraft missiles, had point defense guns, had electronic countermeasures, but none of it was designed for coordinated NATO strike packages employing complementary weapon systems from multiple vectors simultaneously. The integration defeated the defense before Iranian gunners could prioritize targets. F-35B stealth performance validated British investment completely. The jets flew to within 25 miles of active Iranian air defense systems, were never detected, never engaged, never threatened. Iranian Tor M1 batteries searched continuously. Upgraded radar systems swept the airspace, found nothing. 4 aircraft carrying 16 missiles flew their entire mission profile undetected, released weapons, returned to carrier safely. The stealth advantage wasn't theoretical, was proven in actual combat against real air defenses. British taxpayers spent $9.1 billion developing and procuring F-35Bs. Wednesday night proved every penny justified. The aircraft did exactly what it was designed to do. Found enemies they couldn't find, struck targets they couldn't defend, returned home safely. That's the F-35 promise. Wednesday night delivered it. Wednesday at 1:17 a.m., Iranian frigates sailed in formation, believing darkness provided safety. By 1:27 a.m., 2 were sinking, 2 were crippled. By dawn, the Gulf of Oman had changed. NATO controlled it completely. Iranian Navy had been reduced, and the message was written in fire across the water. Attack Allied interests and lose your fleet. Threaten Gulf shipping and face NATO precision strikes. Challenge American military power and discover the cost. Wednesday night proved it. 10 minutes of coordinated strikes, 4 Iranian frigates, 0 NATO casualties. The Persian Gulf is NATO water now. Wednesday morning confirmed it permanently. What happens next in the Gulf? Will Iran attempt to rebuild and retaliate? How should Allied forces posture going forward? Comment your strategic predictions below. Your engagement shapes what we analyze next. Every comment, every like, every subscription, enable notifications, because Gulf tensions continue. More operations possible, more analysis needed. This channel delivers that analysis every time. Real tactical detail, real strategic assessment, real understanding of modern naval strike operations. Wednesday night changed the Gulf. You understand why, you understand how. That's the value, that's the analysis. Subscribe now and miss nothing.